Hi, everybody. My name is Joshua Schmidt, and this is my response to 4.1's Brain Development and Your Learners. A little bit about me quickly. I teach 7th and 8th grade math. I have students who are all ability levels in my room at the same time, so that's below grade level all the way to above grade level. In a small school like China, I actually like having those multi-level groups because we don't have enough teachers to have truly tracked classes in math and still have manageable class sizes. I have taught roughly the same grades for 11 years, so that does help in terms of content creation, that I've created the same things repeatedly that have allowed me to improve over time. In terms of educational media, my learners have wide strengths and weaknesses, so I want to give resources that are good for all learning styles and profiles when possible. It's not always possible, but that's definitely the goal. And then I really focus on authentic choices, real decisions, not worksheet A versus worksheet B. We're talking about two truly unique ways to learn content. And when I examine content and technology, I look at these 5 questions, which: do I have a similar or better technology? That kind of makes this one obsolete. How steep is the learning curve for quote unquote average student? Could students use this technology in future classes? Screencastify is a great example of something I used with my students first and then ended up using myself because it's so good for their high school classes. What type of learner would benefit from that resource? And then what is the cost? Obviously, free is best when possible. So for my reflection, the new information, I wrote some down here. I loved seeing brain development at all ages. I'm interested in that normally as a person, but also as a new father. That's really interesting to me to read through how the brain develops at each level. I was not surprised to hear that the brain grows into, when you're over 20 in the mid 20s. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I also, as a former 20-year-old myself, hearing that a 20-year-old is 50% more likely to do risky behavior with 2 or more peers with them is not surprising at all, and does explain a lot of the decision making that young people and my students make. Aha moments for me was that understanding that the learning evolves as the students grow. So rote tasks in elementary all the way up to more complex tasks in middle school, I think makes a ton of sense with how I teach and how I think effective teaching needs to be done at those age ranges. Understanding that middle school students need to be taught empathy and metacognition, but it also is beneficial to their other learning outcomes, I think makes a ton of sense to me. And that you should alternate high and low interest activities with your students totally matches what I do, and it really spoke to me. And then in terms of the 3 frameworks, I've talked about this a little bit in some of the other writings, but I feel like the 4 C's are always core goals and questions in everyone's content, but they're really applicable in the way that I think about content creation. SAMR is also, do these resources help me improve, and make me teach better and more effectively? And then finally in TPACK, I feel really comfortable getting to 2 areas of focus, but could this technology resource help me reach all 3? And I think that's something that I'm going to constantly be thinking about and trying to improve.